For my final major project, I'm creating an Indian retro gaming magazine. So over the past 2 years, I have accumulated an absolutely massive range of skills, a really large skill set, all of which I really want to incorporate into my final project. These range from interviewing techniques all the way to InDesign layout, creating magazines and newspapers, and really putting my creative skills to the test. Now, last year for my FMP, I created a eco-friendly lifestyle magazine, and within this I included some of my own graphic illustrations. Now, I was super proud of the final product, and that is something that I want to feel the same amount of pride in my project this year. So I've decided to use the topic of Indian retro gaming for my magazine, as it is a topic that I am personally very passionate about. I play a lot of games at home. I've always been brought up around it ever since I was a toddler. So it's something that I'm definitely knowledgeable about. However, there's still a lot that I can learn and implement into my magazine. So there's definitely going to be a learning curve for me, but I feel like that it's definitely a challenge I'm willing to take on and I will find really interesting as I continue on with this project. Furthermore, I would really love to incorporate some of my own graphic design and digital illustration into the magazine. I would love to take inspiration from games that have been critically acclaimed for their amazing visuals, beautiful artwork, such as the indie PS3 game Journey, and also there's the black and white 2D side scroller called Limbo. Both are amazing and with beautiful artwork, and obviously I want to look into really famously amazing games purely for the experience and the artwork that are included in them, such as Skyrim, obviously, and Breath of the Wild, Zelda, which are 2 games which are just have been known for multiple years now to be really pleasing games to play just for the visuals and the graphics. I believe that using my own artwork and digital illustrations in the layout of the magazine will be a really good challenge. I feel like it will help me create something that I am proud of and pleased with at the end of this year. Also, I am hoping that it will help me create something slightly more unique, possibly, you know, a little bit more original, and something that maybe other people haven't done it as much previously. So in terms of feature length, my magazine is going to have its front cover, back cover, and a press pack, as well as 8 double-page spreads. Now, this might sound like a lot, that's 16 pages long. However, for example, I'm going to have 2 adverts in my magazine. One of those is going to be a double-page spread. I have also gone through and decided which articles I would like to write. I've done a lot of thinking towards this, and I have calculated how long I would like these articles to be, and this is how I've come up with 16 pages exactly. Now I'll go through with you the articles that I would like to write and how long they will last. So when you open my front cover, you'll be faced with a single page advert. Next to that will be the editor's letter. That makes up my first double page spread. Now when you turn over, there'll be the table of contents. Now this is going to be a full double page spread as well. It's going to include artwork and a little explanation of each article that will be in the magazine. Then it will come to our first article as such, and it's going to be what's new in gaming. So as my magazine is a quarterly seasonal magazine, so it's going to be the spring edition, I'll be catching the audience up on what's new in gaming, recent news, recent releases, etc. And then that will lead us onto my first feature-length article. Now this will be between 800 and 1000 words long. It's going to be about Animal Crossing New Horizons, the Nintendo game, and it's going to be talking about whether the hype has finally subsided, because this is a game that was extremely prevalent during the lockdown, and I'm actually personally not sure whether people still play this game on a regular basis, or is it something that we just kind of come back to when we are flung into a lockdown and have nothing else to do anymore. So after that one, we will be going into a single page of the month's top 5 must-play PC games, which will be kind of a summary of my favourite PC games that I have played over the past month, and I will be writing short recommendations as to why I believe that you should be playing them. Next up on the next page to the top 5 PC games, there'll be a review, and now this will be on the NQ64 bars in Birmingham and Cardiff. Now, These are retro gaming bars where you can go and, you know, buy a cocktail and play on these retro arcade machines and old retro gaming consoles. I have visited both and I will be writing reviews on both of those, and that will make up one single page. I'm hoping that this is going to be around 400 words long. So next up is going to be a triple page spread. Now this is going to be an article that is over 1,000 words long, and it's going to be my primary article of the magazine. This is going to take front and centre. Now it's going to be about the impacts that gaming addiction can have on family dynamics, and how gaming addiction can go hand in hand with other mental health illnesses, which can then lead to very antisocial behaviour and really, really valid struggles within personal lives. Now I'm going to be interviewing some of my own family members. I'm going to be talking about my own personal experience with gaming addiction in my family. And this is going to be a mix of kind of an opinion piece as well as an interview. And then for the last single page, it will be a sneak peek into the next season's issue of the magazine. Now throughout the magazine, it's going to include a mixture of my personal photography, artwork and illustrations, as well as sourced images from video games, like video game footage, video game characters, etc. In terms of audience, I've done both primary and secondary research in order to decipher as to who my target demographic is for my magazine. I looked into Edge magazine, which is a very popular gaming magazine. I looked at their reader profile. I've also done a SurveyMonkey in order to kind of collate a load of results and discuss my target demographic for my magazine. So my magazine will be targeted towards predominantly males. Also there will be between the ages of 25 and 35. According to my SurveyMonkey, this age range seemed to be most interested in a gaming magazine. In terms of psychographics, my audience will be succeeders. These are people who aim to seek and control. They're normally in higher management positions and they're professionals, which therefore leads me onto my socio-demographics and the ABC1 profile. They are more likely to be in demographic B, which is middle class. They are intermediate, managerial, administrative and professionals. After doing my SurveyMonkey, the majority of males aged 25 to 35 describe themselves as middle class. So in terms of the Edge Media Pack, which is run by Future PLC, which is their publisher, their media pack and reader profile really backed up my primary research. So their target audience are predominantly male, again, aged around 30, which fits with my survey results. They are gamers and professionals, again, exactly who I am targeting. And according to the audience profile, the gamer spends an average of 23 hours per week gaming, and their average income is around £23,000 to £29,000 a year, which would put them in a more middle class socio-demographic level. Here I've made my own detailed audience profile of my magazine, so feel free to pause and take a look, and it basically goes through everything I've just discussed. In terms of my production schedule, I've updated it. I've made it a lot more detailed. I have included specifically when I am writing each article. Now I know what I would like to write, when I would like to interview, and I have also amended dates from previous weeks where I have, say, fallen behind or added extra tasks to complete each day. So it is much more detailed, there's much more information within my production schedule, and it will be a lot clearer to follow from now till May. So some of my key inspiration for this magazine comes from Edge Gaming Magazine, PC Gamer, Nintendo Power Magazine, which is like a retro Nintendo gaming magazine, and as well as games such as Fez, which is one of my favourite platformers, as well as Celeste, and a lot of Nintendo games, of course Animal Crossing New Horizons, Zelda. I have also done some research into the history of magazines. Now I felt that this was important in order for me to understand more about my specialist area. I found out more about when the first ever magazine was published, and I've also looked into the job roles that are predominant in magazine production, such as editor-in-chief, creative director, magazine journalist. I have also used case studies for each of these job roles in order to have a deeper understanding into what happens when you become successful in this career, and what I could possibly even aspire to in the coming years. Furthermore, I've looked into magazine publishers, as well as done all my target audience research. I feel like all of my research so far has been extremely helpful for me to get to the point where I'm at now, where I am confident in my publication, the one that I would like to create for my final major project. It has given me a much deeper understanding into my specialist area specifically, and I really look forward to completing my research.